Hello, good people of the internet, and welcome to Famipod, a podcast for family for Wednesday, March 11th, episode 5 of Famipod, where we talk about all the branches of the gaming world affecting your family tree, like PlayStation taking their ball and going home, the grim future of Xbox, and our thoughts on the final Mario Galaxy trailer. We'll round it off with what we've been playing and possibly a solo version of our 20 Questions Royale. I'm your host, Ryan Tierney, and tonight our fine footed friend is fatigued from fatherly functions, which leaves myself and our beautiful Swedish boy, Mr. Dennis Lofgren. How you doing?
You know how I told you to start writing the intros?
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
Oh, come on, man.
They're too written.
What do you mean they're too written?
They don't sound
It's
natural
a.
enough.
Oh, come on. I can't win with you.
What do you
I really
mean? Like,
felt like I thought I was finding a flow, Like, I really felt good about these last few weeks. I would just let you write mine for next time. How about that?
I'm just
Well,
messing with you, dude.
okay. uh, uh,
Um,
you know what? I appreciate the banter. I usually just get a hi, and then we're off to the to the next part of the rigmarole. Uh, well, I'm going to continue on with this overly scripted rigmarole. If you like what we do, you can catch us live at twitch.tv/Curly Studios every Wednesday, usually around 10 to 10:30. And we're on time tonight. So, go us. If you can't, no worries. You can catch the VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/at Famicorp every Thursday morning. And if you just have no time for that because you're too busy grinding at work to afford Xbox's next overpriced console, you can listen to us on the go on podcast services such as Amazon, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But since we're early, let's kick it off. Let's get rolling. Dennis, let's rock into PlayStation. Let's kick it off with some. I mean, there's only one good topic on the bulletin today. Honestly, maybe you could say PlayStation's like decent news, depending on your perspective. But we'll get the nasty stuff out of the way, and we'll get to play Nintendo later. So PlayStation taking their ball and going home. Let me pull up this article from
can you access the
Jason
article?
Schreier. Yeah, I got it pulled up. I think I
So I
had it.
get like a
Where's it at?
pop-up saying I need to pay.
Oh yeah, get unlimited access for 199 for your first month.
I thought this was a gift
Basically,
link.
basically, all right. So to kind of run it down, PlayStation for the last what the beginning of the PS5 console cycle was undergoing an initiative to start bringing their games over to PC. They did it with Last of Us, Spider Man, Ghost of Tsushima, and now they are reverting back to their old ways. Have announced that Saros and Ghost of Yote Legends will not be coming to PC, and that they will no longer be furthering that initiative. Which is, I mean, it's an interesting move. I feel like you could take like positives and negatives from it. Dennis, how do you feel about this?
um, I feel like I feel like kind of both two ways about it. Like one, it doesn't really matter too much to me. I think the only PlayStation game that I've bought on PC is The Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
Mhm.
Um and that's really the only reason is because I'm actually like obsessed with No Return, and the more
Okay.
surfaces that I can use to play No Return on, the better. Um but otherwise I don't really care from like a personal perspective. Like I have a PS5, and now especially with oh yeah, this we should definitely talk about this before we go to the next topic. Like the fact that Sony unveiled the new PSSR in Resident Evil Requiem on
Okay.
PS5 Pro. Now with that, which looks incredible by the way, now I don't feel any reason to wanna to wish that they had a PC version.
Gotcha.
So so yeah, I mean, I have a PS5 Pro, so I mean, I have like the best way to play their games. Um, yeah, and I understand their perspective on doing this. Because like, as I think a lot of people have stated since they started doing PC ports, it's like, why are you doing this? This doesn't make any sense from your perspective to do. Because Sony doesn't just make money on their own games, they make money on making sure that everyone plays on their platform because they take 30% on every purchase.
Oof. That's steep.
So, like, if your main business is 30% on every purchase, it makes absolutely no sense why you would want to ever entertain another, like, an alternative.
Yeah, no, I'm inclined to agree with you on that. Like it from a Sony standpoint, their perspective at the top of the mountain that they're at right now, like the move never felt like sensical. Like it never made sense in my head of like why are you moving to PC? It felt like a market that Xbox was trying to break into, and you had already kicked them out of the console race. It felt disingenuous because I don't know the idea it wasn't they weren't doing day and date, they weren't releasing it at the same time, it was always a year later. um it does suck from like an availability standpoint that other people can't play these games without buying into the Sony um line of consoles.
Mm.
It kills, unfortunately, any chance of ever getting Bloodborne on PC, which probably wasn't happening anyway, but the dream is fully dead at this point.
Yeah.
um I like the idea that PlayStation is they've kind of like gotten back to what made the PS4 generation for them so like formative. Like what got them to where they are now is that they canceled the live service initiative, they've canceled the PC initiative, and I think they're getting back to PlayStation as a brand, their IPs, the stories they tell, the games they make, and less focused on like other mediums of money making or expanding in different directions that just didn't really feel like PlayStation. So I'm excited for it. I do think there's some negatives to it. I do think limiting your audience sucks for the people that don't want to buy a $750 console, or whatever the PS6 price is going to be when it inevitably drops. I don't think it's going to be a PC console hybrid the way we're about to talk about Xbox or the Steam machine. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to do it now when like right now, like in the middle of a PS5 console cycle. Like I would imagine this would have made more sense closer to the PS6.
Yeah, but I think like this was just like an experiment.
Yeah,
And
you know
I think they saw like a lot of very promising um data at the beginning, because apparently their ports sold really well. But as I think as a lot of people have speculated, it was all like novelty.
yeah
And like, if they want to do it this way of like not releasing day and date, then the ports are just not gonna matter very much, because I think they saw later that the reason why they're not selling as well is because they aren't day and date.
yeah no, that's fair. Do you think there's any credibility to like the with Xbox launching or potentially launching a PC console hybrid, that they don't want their games playable on like an Xbox device?
100%.
Yeah,
Um I think it applies to both Microsoft and Valve. And if the I think it was Who was it? The guy who was like Blizzard CEO for a while? The Xbox person?
Kodak.
No.
Also, welcome Bird, welcome Diego.
Yes, welcome. The guy he used to work at Xbox and then he became the Blizzard CEO for like a little bit. Then he quit. Oh, what's his name
Uh,
again? Anyway, he was on either Twitter or on Blue Sky talking about how um he has on like strong authority that they consider Valve as their primary competitor going into the next generation.
that Xbox does.
No, that Sony does.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's not entirely due to the Steam machine, but more that they have now turned their head from Xbox, from like absolutely decimating Xbox out of existence, out of relevance, to our true competitor is now the ones who govern the PC space,
But
which
I
is
mean, if that
Valve.
was the case, you would consider someone who governed the PC space. You would go after the PC space, but they're not. They're saying, "Hey, we're going to relinquish that space to you," even though
Yeah,
Steam is
that's
saying,
why.
"Hey, we're bringing the fight to you because we have a console coming." Like,
No, no, no. I mean, no, the other way around. By not releasing your games on PC, that means you
I
don't
see.
give
Okay,
them.
you don't give them your games. Yeah,
Yeah. And I do
that's
think that's
fair.
right. I really hope that the Steam machine becomes like successful and everything. Um, but I don't. I mean, especially at this pace when it seems like Valve doesn't might have regretted, right? Might be regretting even announcing it in the first place due to
Yeah,
like the RAM shortage and everything. I don't know if you saw all this stuff about like how Valve said that we hope to release the Steam machine in 2026, and then they were like, no, we're definitely releasing it in 2026. Except like like a couple of months ago or something, they announced that the Steam machine was definitely coming in the first half of 2026, and now it's just 2026.
Ugh.
So yeah, and that also includes the Steam controller, the Steam frame, and the Steam controller is really what I want personally. Um because I do have this is my PC controller, the 8-bit do ultimate. But
Okay.
it just decided that we don't need triggers anymore. They don't do anything.
They don't. They have them, but they don't do anything.
No, the triggers on my controller just stopped working.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. We don't need
Um
these useless things anymore.
yeah, yeah. What do you need triggers for? It's
We
like
have
what are you
paddles now.
playing most of the time? Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, like I it feels doubly frustrating for me because I'm in the market for a new controller right now. Um and I feel like if everything had gone to like the initial plan, like when they announced the new hardware, I feel like it would have been out by now.
You're telling me, as a full-fledged Sony pony, you don't just play everything with the DualSense Edge?
I mean, I'm using a well, first of all, I don't have an Edge. I do have a DualSense. This is actually my mom's DualSense. Um,
Oh,
but I am using that right now on PC. The biggest issue is that like most things on PC doesn't support the DualSense. Like I need to rely on Steam input for games to even recognize the controller at all to begin with.
yeah.
Um, and that works most of the time. Like most of the times I play through Steam, and like I played some more Alan Wake 2 recently, and that just has like native DualSense support. But I can't use it with my own game. Like I can't playtest my
Oof,
own game with the DualSense controller.
that's rough.
Um, so out of so yeah, what I do when I have to play test my own game is like it the controller have these paddles here, so I've just mapped the paddles to R2 and L2.
Okay,
So
okay,
like
nice.
that makes the game playable, but like playing a shooter this way where I have to aim and shoot with the paddles, like it doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah, I actually have yet to experience paddles. I haven't had a controller that hasn't yet. I don't have the new the Switch Pro controller has it, or Switch 2 Pro controller has it now, right?
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, I want to get a DualSense Edge, but $200 for a controller is just outrageous.
Yeah, no, don't buy that. The edge is like it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get a PlayStation Portal for the same
that's
price.
true. That's true, and I still actually do want one of those. Um, so we had talked about the idea that PlayStation would be targeting Nintendo as their biggest console rival, like
Mm.
possibly going forward. Um, does this change your mindset on that at all? I mean, does this you're saying that this point seven is more towards them viewing Valve as their
I mean,
rival
I
going
would
forward,
have
or is it
said that Nintendo is still their primary target, but I mean, if oh, Mike Ibarra was it that said the Valve was the target, the new target, basically.
okay?
Um, if what he says is true, then then Sony still considers Nintendo like an ally,
Interesting. Okay. My thing
where
is,
they are like I think they don't want to necessarily. I don't think like what we saw with Lego Horizon, where they put that on Switch. I think that was another um experiment, and I don't think we're gonna see more of that. But I think they see Nintendo in like we're not gonna give you our games, but we do also benefit from you being your own thing. Like the
that's
entire
fair.
industry
Yeah.
benefits from Nintendo, which is something that a lot of people have said over the years. Um, and I do believe in. But like, yeah, I do think that I mean, again, if it's true what Mike Ibarra said, Valve is the new target. And I think that makes sense because I do think that Xbox is increasingly irrelevant. And we'll see, of course, what happens with Helix, which we're going to talk about later.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know, man. I don't really like the rumor is that it's gonna be over $1,000 high
Yeah, a
end
thousand to
PC.
1,200. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, who's gonna want that? Especially now when nobody likes Xbox to begin with, and then they're gonna ask 1,000 or $1,200 for essentially just a PC. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man. I don't
Yeah.
think it's.
It's just, I mean, we can kind of just lump these two topics in together because it kind of just deals with the state of Xbox and Sony. Um, so it yeah, what Dennis is referring to is with it was rumored or revealed that Xbox is going to be showing off next gen hardware at GDC, or at least dev kits for next gen hardware, code named Helix, right? It's
Mm,
the idea is going to be a console PC hybrid. Yeah, the rumors right now are speculating, upwards of $1,000 to $1,200 for this next generation Xbox, and the rumor mill is flying with the idea that this is so the most interesting speculation that I heard about this is that this is still Phil Spencer and um, what's her name?
Sarah Bond.
Sarah Bond's like this was their thing, right? And that
Y-
Asha Sharma coming in is like she just has to kind of like see it through. Like this
I
was
mean,
they
yeah, of
wanted this
course.
to
Like Asha Sharma was given the role like last week or some shit. Like, of course, they haven't been able to develop a whole new piece
well
of hardware in that time.
that's not what I mean. I'm saying that like Phil and Sarah Bond like this was their baby. Like they believed
Mm.
in this, and then I guess maybe they saw that this isn't going to work, and kicked rocks. And now Asha Sharma has to like pitch that she believes in this idea, even though like this is not the brand that that I feel like Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond built with their time at Xbox. The idea of like play anywhere, anything is an Xbox. Like this feels very elitist. This feels very like who can afford this? Who's gonna buy this?
Mm.
Your console sales are in the toilet. Like nobody buys Xbox. Nobody plays on Xbox. Why they think they can start pushing Valve in the PC console space when nobody's buying their hardware? This feels like the death of Xbox, and the rumors that Asha Sharma has been brought in as like a caretaker to like sunset Xbox into the publisher role or sunset the Microsoft's gaming division as a whole is it feels a lot more fruit like there's a lot more bearing to those ideas than maybe originally thought.
I do. I can see how this still aligns with how Phil and Sarah looked at the Xbox. Like, because while they do want Xbox Anywhere and like everything's an Xbox, they also still really care about their core audience. And I mean, if anything, I think the Phil Spencer era of Xbox has been like very known for creating a very dedicated hardcore fan base.
Yeah.
So much so that nobody likes them because they're fucking annoying. So I could see how this thing, Project Helix, was meant to be a product specifically for their Twitter audience.
Their
And
Twitter audience?
yeah, exactly. Their hardcore Twitter audience. And you might be thinking, that sounds fucking dumb. And I agree. But
My
I
question
think
would be is do they have that anymore? Or have they completely
no, but they
like
did when they started this.
yeah.
Um, and I do think these are the kind of hallucinations, I guess, that you start getting when you listen to Twitter too much. Like how every AAA game is 300 hours right now.
Yeah.
That is only a conclusion you come to if you listen to Twitter, where it's like, oh, games are worth the price if they are a billion hours long. Or wow, this game sucks. I can't shoot the apples.
Yeah.
It's like all of these things. The only reason why AAA cares about that stuff is because it gets viral on Twitter. And I can totally see how Microsoft would also get completely wrapped up in that and think that the way we win is by making sure that Digital Foundry will constantly report that our game and that our console has the best graphics. Which is
Yeah.
the entire reason why the Xbox One X and Series X exists, because they are constantly, well, the Series X is more on par with PlayStation, generally. But the entire reason the One X existed was because they know they wanted the Xbox One X to be the top choice in every Digital Foundry video. Like, this has been kind of reported in the past, which is a really dumb reason to make a console. We're
Like,
making the, and like they have like, do you remember who was the first people to see the Series S?
no.
Digital Foundry. They
Okay.
brought them in-house and showed them the Series S 3 months before it was announced.
Okay. I don't remember that, actually. You think so? The idea. Well, at least you're saying this, so the Twitter audience believes that
Mm.
the best way for Xbox to compete is so that to have Digital Foundry just talking about their console constantly. But like, from the minds of Xbox, how do they make this make sense when nobody is buying your hardware to begin with, and you're only
Again,
making?
I think this project started before the This Is an Xbox campaign, before all of the garbage that started ruining their reputation.
Okay.
And I think they planned on when they started seeing everything go to hell, I think they still planned on having a hardcore fan base. And I think the reason why Asha Sharma is being put in is because they're realizing they're losing that too.
You think
So they
there's any
need a
credibility
complete reset.
To the idea that Asha Sharma is just there to sunset the initiative or the program?
It could be. I do think she's gonna try to I think their first plan, like plan A, isn't sunset the brand. Plan A is see if we can change things by changing the leadership. Plan B is let's just do the publisher thing.
Yeah. Honestly, the publisher thing just makes sense to me. Like,
And
you have just an unbelievable wealth of IP at your disposal. Your console sale. You imagine being able to just make games without the overhead of trying to sell consoles, and you're just making money off of the games you develop. Like,
yeah,
I, to me, Xbox is too big to be, or they've grown too big to be a console developer to me. Like, it it makes too much sense to just be a games publisher.
yeah, I do think like if the and like this whole push with what Helix is supposed to be, which is basically just a PC. Like, even if this fails, they can still have Xbox hardware because they can just OEM Xbox hardware.
Elaborate.
Like, I think the plan right now is for Microsoft to basically do what they do with Windows PCs, where everyone can ship a Windows PC and they do their own Windows PC with the Surface brand. And I think their Xbox consoles is just gonna be one of the options of Xbox PCs. So even if the Helix itself fails and they themselves just become a publisher, they can still rely on Asus, Alienware, whoever to release Xbox PC hardware.
Gotcha. Okay.
And again, like, even if the Xbox brand itself loses all its traction as a gaming console, so to speak, it's still like a valuable enough brand to like use to kind of differentiate um gaming console style PCs from regular PCs in like a big box store. It's like, this is an Xbox PC. It's made to work well in your living room or just gaming in general. And this is just a Windows PC, you know.
Yeah, it's still just kind of like it still just kind of baffles me. Do you think like if they move to this to a publisher role, do they keep Game Pass?
Uh yeah, I think so. Game Pass is, or I don't know, maybe not. Like game okay, so this is like a nice point to bring up, that the sales charts. So I did find a piece, an interesting thing from the UK sales charts was posted by Nintendo Life, uh, which was that, and this was like a couple of weeks ago now. Um, for February 2026, Resident Evil Requiem um was the best selling game that month. Um, and despite coming out at the end of the month, like they apparently sold 5 million copies in 5 days, which is wild. Um, but the interesting part here is the platform split. PS5 at 54%, PC at 36%, Xbox at 6%, and Switch 2 at 4%. And
Yeah.
I think that tells you everything you need about like how irrelevant Xbox is right now. And I think the entire reason for this is Game Pass.
Yeah.
Of
They're
course, like right now, Xbox is not as popular as PS5, but like 6%? Like that is so far off the actual console ownership split. Um, And the reason why Xbox gamers don't buy games is because of Game Pass. So
yeah,
if they
they've
were to
dissuaded their
go,
entire audience from buying games. Like,
exactly, and they don't even make physical games anymore.
yeah,
Um the and like, so I think that they might um they might cancel, like, take out Game Pass if they were to turn into a full-on publisher. But I could also see them just straight up removing the day one thing from it, because then it's just like a free monthly revenue
yeah,
machine, which is how it's always been for Sony with their PlayStation Plus service. And like, I think what Sony has done, has publicly kind of, or not necessarily publicly, but through the leaks we've found out that some of their things were some of the things that they've done on the game catalog thing that they have on PS Plus have been experiments such as, dude, oh my god, I just looked more at this list. Mortal Kombat 1, 99% PS5.
that's wild.
It's insane. Jesus Christ.
Who's
Anyway,
playing fighting games on the Xbox?
uh let's see, what was I uh what the hell was I talking about? The um what was I talking about? Game Pass.
PlayStation. Uh,
Oh yeah, PlayStation and the game catalog. Um, with that whole thing, like, we know that they released Horizon Forbidden West early on game catalog to see if it would be worth it. Um, and they found that they lost like hundreds of millions of dollars from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because people like basically just like the sales of Forbidden West like sunk so quickly. Um, so yeah, like I do think that Microsoft would benefit a lot from just removing the day one tier, the day one thing from Game Pass, and then they can just use Game Pass as like a hey, here's a bunch of games you don't have to buy anymore,
Yeah. You think
and
that would
people will still have to
lead
buy them
to
on day one.
you you think that would lead to them putting that service on like Sony or Nintendo?
I don't think
Like
Sony or Nintendo would allow it.
well, I mean, there, you can already you're gonna be playing. I certainly will be playing Xbox games on my PS5 this year when campaign evolved and was it
I mean, they
was it
might allow like an Xbox games only Game Pass,
right?
but I don't see why they would allow, because I mean, PlayStation does allow EA to have their EA Play, like a version of their EA Play
Right.
service on.
Ubisoft as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I think so. And the Valve also allows a version of EA Play on Steam, but in those cases, it's only like their own published games. It's if I recall correctly. So I think that would be the same thing there. Like instead of like the more wider spanning Game Pass that is available on Xbox, it would just be their own published games.
Okay. And I'd be down for
But I
that. I think that'd
also
be a
like
smart move.
I don't think they would do that like Microsoft, because part of the narrative around when they started releasing games on PlayStation was that they used PlayStation sales to subsidize Game Pass.
Okay.
Because Microsoft basically seeing that nobody is buying games on their console anymore because they trained them to not do so. They were like,
Yeah.
how do we get just sales on our game so that we can offset the costs of Game Pass? It's like, oh, let's release them on PlayStation, the platform where people famously buy a lot of games.
Yeah. I think I
um,
mean the games that we've seen it from the few titles that have gone over to PlayStation. That's why if Xbox is continuing with their hey we're going to release our games on PlayStation initiative, I think to your point, Sony would be stupid to say yeah we'll let you put Game Pass on our console. Like people are just buying their games on buying Xbox games on PlayStation. Like
mm,
what South of Midnight had insane sales when it came to PlayStation. I think was it Doom was the same way that where it sold more on PlayStation than it sold on Xbox, which I mean isn't hard to do, but like if you're Sony, like and you're making money off of that, why would you let them put Games Pass on your console when you could just
mm,
have the games? No, I
yeah.
agree. So it's and you were kind of jumping into like pricing on the PlayStation storefront, which leads to an interesting. We didn't have this on the docket, but I don't know if you had heard about like the recent controversy with the PS5 uh, marketplace or PS5 store with the
Oh
idea of doing
yeah,
like
dynamic
dynamic pricing.
pricing. I
Yeah,
This is such a bad idea.
it's such a it should the way they're flipping it, it should be the inverse. So for our audience, the rumors are circulating um, that Sony has been allegedly been conducting A/B price testing since November 2025, affecting more than 150 games across 68 territories. The system and this is from Newsweek, um, published today or yesterday at 9 o'clock. The system apparently shows personalized discounts based on factors such as a player's purchase history or account activity, according to reporting from IGN. Um, Users that have repeatedly made purchases showing that they can afford a higher price point will be charged more than those that do not frequently purchase games. This is
evil
wild.
behavior.
It's
This is evil
disgusting.
behavior. Like, first of all, like, I am like completely against any form of like personal data collection. And this is like this is not just data collection, this is data collection to be used against you. Like, if you
It's
are a good little PlayStation consumer, Sony's gonna just fuck you up the ass. It's like, oh, here's Ryan. He buys all of our games day one for full price. Why don't we charge $10 more? He's gonna buy it, you know? I was
I
just using
I
you as an
no, but you're right. I mean, I
yeah.
do like Sony first party titles. I'm usually a day one adopter. Like, and the idea that like, hey, we're going to charge you more for games that are going on discount. You may not see those discounts, but other people that may
Yeah.
not, we're going to throw like. I feel like you're not. I mean, there's something to be said about trying to get new people onto your platform, but like punishing your core audience
Hmm.
is just a bad way to
There
go.
is no way to spin a dynamic pricing in any good way, because once you start
Yeah,
going into how it works, in even regardless of how abstracted you go, it never looks good. It's like, oh yeah, like um you can get cheaper games. It's like, if one person can get it cheaper, why can't everyone get it cheaper?
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and if you
Like
have like a really focused deep discount, then why don't you just not discount it as much and give it to everyone?
it's it's so like we're talking about Sony possibly looking at Valve as their next competitor, and it's so night and day different from like what you look at from like a Steam storefront. Because like if you're checking out a game on the Steam storefront page,
Mm.
they will literally tell you, "Hey, you can get this game cheaper here." Like you don't have to buy this game at this price point. It's on sale. Go get it here. Or go get like it. That's wild to me. Like people are going to flock to uh Steam over Sony if they're trying to use them as a competitor, as a rival. Going like this is damning. Like if there's any credibility to this, and granted, this is just being reported on in the past couple of days, but it
I mean, it's not really that hard to be able to see if they're doing dynamic pricing. All you have to do is check the price and then have other people check the price. If it's different,
yeah,
they're using dynamic pricing. And like,
yeah.
as you're saying, like, there's nothing wrong with like having like new customer discounts or anything like that. Like, I remember looking at a thing on like AliExpress, and it was cheap, and then I logged in and it was not as cheap anymore, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that was a discount made so to get new signups, of course.
Yep.
It's like, and that's fine, that's completely fine. um so yeah, but just being like, oh, this person spends a lot, why don't we make them spend a little more?
Yeah,
That's just that's just
it's evil.
terrible.
It's bad business for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like
No,
they
it's
said,
good
like,
business, but you just have to make sure nobody finds out.
and we did.
Yeah, immediately, because gamers are extremely uh detail oriented.
Now, the report from Newsweek said affecting more than 150 games. I'm curious what games we're talking about here, because like it'd be noticeable if they were new games. I mean, new games don't get discounted very often, and when they do, you're it's usually made public.
Mm.
Uh,
And
but
also,
like
like,
so,
they're doing discounts right now. If this keeps like going, like they're not gonna stop at discounts. In the future, they're gonna do like, oh, here's the regular person is gonna pay $70 and the hardcore fan is gonna pay $80.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And they're gonna spread it out like loosely enough that people don't notice it. You're gonna make sure that the people who get this increased price are the kinds that wouldn't think about it.
true.
And this is the
Very
kind
true.
of evil shit. Like this is the kind of evil shit that already happens in dynamic pricing. Um, it's so fucking dumb.
Hello, Denton. Hello, Curly. We miss you. Uh,
Curly
get, get,
announced in our chat that he's dead.
he's passed away.
Not just dead. He has announced that he's been killed.
I think it was his new dog.
Curly, can you confirm what killed you if you're still around?
It's either Cho or the new dog. Uh, Brewer.
But yeah, are we done with this topic?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to circle back, if only I had, if only I had seen it. Curly does not know who murdered him. That's sad. You want to
Sucks.
circle back to Helix? I had a question about that. So, the Xbox putting out their dev kit. Do you think so? Helix obviously is just a code name. Um, what what does Xbox name their new console?
Some
And is it
real dumb.
is it is it real dumb? Is it real dumb again?
Yeah,
Is this the
it's gonna be like they're gonna it's gonna be like series. They're gonna adopt like CPU naming schemes where it's gonna be like, I think it's gonna be like Xbox Series S 7 8050
kill me?
and Xbox Series X 5340 and Xbox Series X 5755 or whatever the fuck. Like, this is what their naming is gonna be because they're gonna have a bunch of different SKUs.
Yeah. Now,
Is my prediction.
wasn't so the idea when they went with Series X and S was that they wouldn't have to worry about the naming convention anymore because the Series brand was just going to be how they operated going forward. And I believe it's been that way. Uh, they every time they've like named their next console, it's like, well, now we're just gonna it's gonna be a series of names. So like we had the Xbox One, they were going to move to the Xbox Two, I guess possibly, and then they ditched that for the
No, like
series.
the thing with a name like Xbox One, that's the kind of name where you don't think about how you're gonna continue from that. They did not
Yeah,
have any plans whatsoever how to move
you,
forward.
you didn't think the idea there was to go to Xbox Two and Xbox
No,
Three and
like
Four?
the entire
No.
reason why they call it Xbox One is because it was the one destination for everything.
Do you remember when they came out with the mid gen upgrade, the Xbox One X, and called it that because it spells Xbox?
They didn't call it that because it spells Xbox.
You'll
Because
never be able to convince me that they didn't.
otherwise they wouldn't have another console called Xbox One S.
Yeah, but that's the lesser version. What they
Sure.
care about is the.
Curly says in chat, Helix is the coolest name they could have. Not that it's that cool. It's just the coolest they could have. It's weird to lean into the code name so heavily already with the marketing. Remember that they did this exact thing with Project Scorpio.
Right, and that's mentioned in the article that some of the leaks or the glimpses that we've seen of it look very reminiscent of the leaked dev kits or the rumored dev kits for the Project Scorpio.
And like, this goes back to what I said earlier about like them being really obsessed with their Twitter fans. Because literally nobody cares about the project name other than their fanatical people on Twitter.
Now, I can't say it. Never mind. We'll table this for another time. But there's something very interesting about. Well, no, we'll bring it up. Never mind. I take it back. So, if you're looking at the article from IGN has a picture of the leaked or the glimpse at the dev kit, and it has some very interesting markings on it that read XDK, uh, which may be relevant to us.
I mean, remember, this is a picture of their dev kit. XDK is
Yeah,
just like Xbox developer
dev,
kit.
I know. I understand that. I was leading it into a different direction that I can't go fully because Curly's got some weird hangups. Um, but DK Donkey Kong,
No,
rare Banjo Kazooie.
no,
This is the confirmation that we're getting. Oh, did we just lose the stream?
no.
Did I just lose the stream?
Maybe. Still live on my end.
Ah, okay, cool. It dropped on my end, but I'm still here apparently, so we're good. It's a console made for Curly. Perfect. All right. Well, enough talking about things that make us sad. Let's shift the narrative to some good news.
Yeah, I want to talk about. We didn't have it in the docket, but I want to talk about PSSR 2.
Okay.
So,
Wait.
as like a
Let me formally. I would like to formally introduce. We need some. What's the words I'm looking for?
well, like tech
Some
talk
graphics for this.
tech
Yeah,
talk
this
with
is this is
Dennis.
this is a special segment called Tech Talk with Dennis, where Ryan's gonna get real quiet and he's gonna listen to the beautiful Swedish baby boy talk about some tech stuff.
Okay.
Go for it.
So we heard back like last year when AMD announced FSR 4, which is like they like everyone knows about Nvidia's DLSS, which is like pretty much known as the best AI upscaler in games.
Absolutely.
And AMD had like a competitor called FSR, but it wasn't AI based. It was like analytical, and it was not as good. And then basically like a person on the FSR team was like, "Hold on a second, why don't we just use AI?" It's like, wow, you came up with that now after 3 generations of DLSS. So then, like after that, they revealed FSR 4, which was really good. It's almost on par with DLSS, and like in between like basically FSR 3 and FSR 4, Sony was like, we need an AI upscaler because they're really good, and they released the PS5 Pro, and they realized that AMD, who makes the hardware in their console, is like, these guys can't really do the upscaler thing, so we're gonna develop our own upscaler. And they developed their own like AI hardware and everything alongside AMD. So the PS5 Pro has like Sony designed AI hardware and a Sony designed upscaler, PSSR. Then AMD comes out with FSR 4 and absolutely clowns out the performance of PSSR. Like, and which is just really funny because like Sony like went to the trouble of making their own hardware and their own upscaler just to be completely outclassed by FSR immediately.
What about FSR? You said FSR 4.
Yeah.
What about it like clowns out
So
PSSR?
what is so great about these AI upscalers is that their training data is basically like 16K footage. Like they
Oh
basically
wow.
play the games and like render them at like 16K. So that means that like when you feed in like 720p footage, the AI upscaler knows what the game is supposed to look like at like 16K, and that's why it's so good at upscaling. Um, and they kind of did the same approach with PSSR. The problem is that PSSR is like only trained on Sony's games, and all of Sony's
Okay.
games have a certain have certain like uh attributes about their graphics. Um, and like for example, there's not a single PlayStation exclusive that has ray tracing. So every game that used PSSR that had ray tracing didn't work. Like basically parts of the image looked like it was boiling.
Wow.
Where it's like you can look at like lighting like generated by the ray tracing, you can see like how parts of that in the image like kept kind of fading in and out of black, like in like black level basically. So
Mm.
and uh Digital Foundry kind of called the effect boiling, um
Okay.
because it kind of is kind of what it looks like. So a lot of PS5 Pro games that used PSSR ended up shipping with toggles where you could just go back to FSR3, which wasn't great, but was better than watching the image boiling. um, so when everyone saw how great FSR4 was, Sony went out and announced, like, hey, we have a partnership. Well, they probably had this partnership before then, but like their Project Amethyst partnership with AMD, where it's like, okay, we're gonna develop technologies together and all this stuff, including a new version of PSSR that's based on FSR4. And then now this last week or 2 weeks ago, they revealed, or no, yeah, it was kind of alongside the announcement of, or alongside the release of Resident Evil Requiem, they revealed that the PS5 Pro version of Requiem uses the new version of PSSR. And basically, like before they had told Digital Foundry about it, they had been like flabbergasted by how good the image quality of the PS5 Pro version was. Um, and they were like, "Is this PSSR? Like, this looks nothing like PSSR," because like all these upscalers have certain characteristics that if you look really close, you can tell. Um, Especially like people like them at Digital Foundry. And they were like, "Could this be the new version of PSSR?" And then Sony basically came to them and said, like, "Yeah, it's the new version of PSSR." um, and it looks really good because, like, basically they said it like the way they said it, Digital Foundry, was that if you looked at the image quality, it looked like 4K, but like famously, like on camera cut, like a lot of these kind of upscalers, they work by using previous frames of the game to enhance the current frame. So when you have something like a camera cut, then you don't have a previous frame to go from, which means that you have a raw frame. So on camera cuts, you can see that the native resolution was 1080p. So like, how could the image look 4K but be 1080p? You know, like there
Yeah.
had to have been a new version of the upscaler, and it was really good. And then they announced it was the new PSSR, and this is the saving grace with this new PSSR is that they're gonna have a toggle in the system settings of the PS5 Pro that allows you to switch any game with old PSSR to use new PSSR.
Ooh.
Developers don't even have to ship updates.
Wow.
So like, if you have a PS5 Pro and you wanted to play something like Silent Hill F, which had this kind of boiling issue, just wait for this toggle. I don't know if the toggle is out already. I don't have my PS5 Pro here right now. So just wait for the toggle, and now image quality will have been fixed. Presumably, I mean, Digital Foundry is probably gonna make extensive videos about some of the games with PSSR. But yeah, I mean, I played Resident Evil Requiem on PC. But I mean, the footage that I saw of the PS5 Pro version looked crazy. Like, if you only have consoles at your disposal, the PS5 Pro version of Requiem is like, it's leagues better than any other version of the game. Again, ignoring the PC version. But like the PS5 Pro version is the only console version with ray tracing. It is the only console version with image quality that looks good. Like without any kind of weird pixelization or weird upscaling. Um so yeah, it's really good. And I'm excited to see, like, as someone who bought the PS5 Pro much on the promise of PSSR, I've been quite disappointed with the PS5 Pro because because PSSR turned out to be so bad in anything but their own games, and the Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. So I'm really excited to see how this keeps going, as well as continued development, because I think PSSR is going to be a huge part of the PlayStation 6.
That makes sense. Wait, so this means you're gonna dip back into to Rebirth?
I mean, I wanted to dive back into it, and right now I'll probably wait for that toggle to see. Because I think the one thing that could be a worry with the toggle is that the new version of PSSR might be more demanding.
Mm. Does it mean
So
the PS5 is gonna start
could
running like a
mean
jet engine like the PS4?
no, no.
No.
Um, I just mean that it could mean that some game, the reason why it isn't like like the reason why you have to toggle it basically is because performance might not be better the performance might be worse in some cases.
Okay.
But hopefully most games have like enough wiggle room to allow for that. If it is more expensive, it might not be more expensive
Now, so you played Requiem on PS5?
on PC.
Oh, you played it on PC. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. Are you considering buying it again
no,
on PS5? No. Okay,
no.
fair enough.
I mean, the reason why I bought it on PC was because of path tracing, which is only on PC. Um, and I mean, my God, like path tracing on PC looks so good. Like
The game
path.
looks amazing regardless. Like, but I can only imagine what it
If
looks like on
if
PC.
if you want to see like basically what I would call the absolute most like the one of the best like showcases of path tracing. Digital Foundry released a video, I think it was yesterday, um that showcases path tracing in Requiem and compares it to like without any ray tracing and compares it with the ray tracing. And it looks wild. Like it looks completely crazy. And I mean, I played it that way, and I thought it looked crazy. Like it basically means that every light source in the game casts pixel perfect shadows.
Wow.
And it looks crazy. Like you'll have like these just normal looking like you, and a lot of this is like you might not even really think about it until you see it. But like it's the way, like in reality you have all of these like a light will come across like a surface, and it'll create these like tiny shadows that you don't really think about until they're gone. And then when you look at the path tracing version, you can see that phenomena in the game. Um, and yeah, Dienko said Shadow Take is always super cool to see. Yeah. And like basically part of his kind of thesis with the video that he made is that how path tracing actually improves the horror of the game.
Okay. Well, the game's scary enough. I don't need it anymore. I'm good.
And I think what was really interesting is that he compares it to the GameCube Resident Evil remake, because the static backgrounds in that game are path traced.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
But you know, they're rendered offline, of course. So of course
Right.
they could have probably spent days rendering every frame of those.
Yeah.
But now real time rendering has gone so far that we can create those kind of quality images in real time.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really cool. Um, I've seen that there is a mod that allows you to mod path tracing into other Resident Evil games. I've been trying to look up how to do this. I've just seen like a video of it, but I can't really figure out how to do it. I would like to try. Um, because it really like changes everything. Like it's hard to tell until you actually see it. I do urge everyone to check out Digital Foundry's video on path tracing in Resident Evil Requiem, because and it like it's these kind of things that, you know, does it really matter that much to the gameplay? Probably not. But I really feel like when you have realistic lighting in a game, it just changes everything about how it looks. Like I have an RTX 4070, which is like not a very powerful GPU comparatively to the things that you're kind of supposed to run path tracing on. But thanks to like DLSS super resolution and DLSS frame generation, I I basically put like almost all the settings on like medium to high. Um, and then I ran it at DLSS performance mode, which means that I basically ran the game at like 720p. And then it like upscaled to 1440p, and it looked perfectly fine. Like I didn't even
Nice.
know like. And then with frame generation, I was able to bring the game up from about like 40, 50 FPS to 80, 100 FPS. And I mean,
Wow.
it looked and played absolutely perfectly fine with full on, like I was, and thanks to that, I was able to enable like the full fledged path tracing experience, and it just looks so good. Like one of the little comparison points, like you know how, I mean, I'm sure you might have even tried this. Did you ever try to look into a mirror as Grace?
No, actually, I don't. Well, I mean, I'm sure I have. I don't know if I did it purposely, but I've definitely looked in mirrors.
because when you're not using ray tracing, that means you wouldn't see anything. You wouldn't see grays in the mirror.
Okay.
With ray tracing, you would see like a very low resolution looking version of grace, and with path tracing, it's just actually just looks like her in the reflection. It's wild. Like, it's so cool to me. Like,
That is
it,
pretty cool.
yeah, you just go into the mirror and it's just it looks like she would be looking into a reflection in real life.
So how do they accomplish, like, before they started doing that? How did they accomplish reflections in games? Is that
I mean, there are a lot of different solutions to doing reflections. The most common non-ray tracing type of reflection that you see in games right now is screen space reflections, which is basically like and they're usually used on like water surfaces.
okay?
Because a screen space reflection basically takes the information in the frame to create the reflection. So imagine you're looking forward and you have like a puddle of water on the ground.
Mhm.
What they basically do is that they take the image and they flip it around and then put it in the water. Essentially, like that is the very simple explanation of it.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
then it looks like a fairly decent reflection. The problem is if you start looking down into the water, the reflection is now gone because it has no screen space information to use. Because what it would be reflecting is outside of the screen.
Gotcha.
And that
Okay.
is the biggest issue with screen space reflection. You can see it in like open up basically any modern game that doesn't use ray tracing and go to like a water surface, look forward, and then look down, and you will see almost like a line across the screen move upward um, as you look down in the water. And that's how
Okay.
you can tell the screen space reflections don't have any information. And it might not be something you've noticed up until now, but it is rampant. It is everywhere because that's just how screen space reflections work. Um, in if you've ever played a game that actually had a mirror reflection of the character or something like that in the mirror in like an older game, then they probably used a planar reflection, which is basically um in that case you essentially you have like the camera that you see the game through,
Mhm.
and then you basically have another camera with some amount of math tries to figure out where it needs to be positioned in order to have a perspectively accurate reflection in the mirror, and then it just basically render the game again from that perspective.
Like, so I guess the one that comes to mind for me is like Arkham Asylum. There's a very like iconic moment, at least in my brain, where you're very early on. You're going through like one of the bathrooms, and there's a like a full body mirror in there, and Batman. If you stand in front of him as Batman, you see a very blurry version of Batman. It looks
Mm.
terrible, but is
That's
that what you're talking about?
probably a planar reflection. A lot of planar reflections are not full resolution because it would be really expensive to render the scene again.
Okay.
So they tend to be lower resolution. Um, then I would say the last kind of type of mirror reflection is what you would think about in, for example, Super Mario 64 in that like big mirror room on the second
Okay.
floor, where
Yeah.
in that case it is literally just they have just actually mirrored the geometry and just place another Mario on the other side.
Oh.
So that is not an actual reflection. You're just looking into a second mirrored version of the room.
Gotcha. When you're talking about the cost of these things, you're not talking about like obviously like the the the
No,
development cost, but you're talking about like the throughput or the bandwidth of
exactly
the
like the render time that it takes to do
gotcha,
this.
gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
What's really great about like with something like a planar reflection, as I said, that it's basically just like rendering the entire game again, which is really expensive. Um, with screen space reflections, they just take the last frame of the video and put it back on the frame, which is now very expensive, which is why almost every game uses screen space reflections. With ray
Gotcha.
tracing or path tracing, with those, it's more of like um like a static extra cost essentially to render everything with this new kind of approach.
Mm-hmm.
So adding more reflective surfaces doesn't cost more, basically.
Gotcha.
It's just kind of yeah, because like with regular what's called like rasterized rendering,
Mm-hmm.
then uh you basically take a picture and you have like the different light sources and you make a bunch of math based on how things should be lit based on where they are and everything. With ray tracing and path tracing, you basically just send light rays out of the camera, and then they bounce around the scene and hit light sources. And so they're basically like working with how light works in the real world, but the other way around. Because like if you would be casting rays out of all the lights, then a bunch of those rays would go into nowhere and not contribute to the scene very much. So they do instead, essentially, like in real life, all of the lights cast a bunch of photons, and those photons bounce into your eyes. The way it works in games is that they cast the photons out of your eyes, and then they start hitting lights.
Okay.
And that's kind of a cheaper way to do it, essentially.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But it means that you get completely accurate lighting in games. And
I'm gonna have to watch this video because
yeah,
I don't know if I would recognize path tracing, but I'm very interested to take a dive into this. So I went ahead and bookmarked that for later. Um, Dennis,
yeah, that's
thank you for educating me.
yeah, that's tech talk.
I have
Tech
learned
talk with
greatly.
Dennis.
Tech talk with Dennis. We're gonna get some graphics, some promotional material with that for future podcast episodes. Let's move on to our last topic for the before the what we've been playing in the 20 questions. Um, we got big news. It was Monday. Um, we got
Donald
the final
Glover is
Donald
playing
Glover.
Yoshi.
Yeah, young Lando Calrissian himself is gonna be Yoshi in the Mario movie.
Do you think do you think he actually made the Yoshi sound in that trailer?
He has to have. I have to believe he did. Look, if Vin Diesel could do the voice for Baby Groot, Donald Glover can make the Yoshi noise.
But I mean, Vin Diesel, they basically just had him say "I am Groot," and then they just completely modulated the
Well,
sound.
that's what I'm assuming they did. If they're gonna do it for Donald Glover, that's what they're gonna do. He's gonna make the
Yeah,
sound, and then they're
but
just
it's
gonna.
like why, why Donald Glover? If he's just gonna say Yoshi, why didn't you just get the regular Yoshi voice actor?
And this is funnier. That's all there is to that. You don't think he's gonna have any voice acted lines? You think he's just gonna say Yoshi?
I think he's just gonna say Yoshi.
I kind of love that though. Perfect is that? Uh,
I don't see Yoshi actually saying anything. Yoshi, what up?
Also, did they did they retcon in this trailer or not retcon, but like were there changes? So like the original trailer with Bowser Jr., he's in like a very kind of ode to Sunshine kind of get up, which is gone in this trailer, correct?
No, he starts by having that, and then like he arrives and it's like, yo, Mario, give me my fucking dad back. And then
Yeah.
Mario's like, nah, bruh. And then he like puts the the paintbrush on the ground, and the paint goes onto him and turns him into
Okay.
Wonder Bowser Jr.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Which is like,
Um,
I'm a bit disappointed that they went with the Wonder stuff in this. Like, I really would have liked to just
it,
see him be classical Bowser Jr.
it's a lot to throw because there's references to just so many different
I
games.
mean, Wart is in this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? When has Wart been in anything since the Game Boy Advance re-release of Super Mario Bros. 2?
No, what's your hype levels? How you feeling on the final trailer for the movie?
I mean, I'm really excited. I love that, like, at the end they show that the depressive Luma is back.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't not.
Yeah.
It's a Mario Galaxy.
I'm so happy that that Luma's back. Oh man. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. I like the first movie. I don't think I've actually seen it since I saw it in theaters.
I've
So
seen it a
definitely
few
gonna
times. It's
be a
one of Arya's favorite
rewatch.
movies.
Definitely gonna do a rewatch of it.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I'm really excited to go see this one.
Yeah, I kind of wish I still might, but it depends on time. I'd like to actually play through at least the first Galaxy game before going to see the movie. That that price tag's hard, dude. I don't know. I and the time commitment for it. We'll see.
Wait, hold on.
I'd love to.
You have played it in the past though, right?
Yeah, I haven't. I've played like a little bit of it, like maybe like a couple hours worth.
Wait, you mean you have not finished Galaxy?
No, sir. I didn't. So I didn't have. I kind of missed the Wii U console generation for
Fake
Nintendo.
fan.
Call me what you want, man. I mean, the consoles were expensive. I was a
You
child.
you have
My
to
dad was.
you have to play it. You have to play it.
Oh, well, you know what? That's a good point. Maybe I hold on. I was very graciously gifted. I was very graciously gifted by my lovely sister with a Wii U, and this
Nice.
is my first time ever owning one. So maybe I'll just play the game, as God intended, and not pay the $40 for it.
But
And I'll play it.
instead pay $20 for it
Well, I mean, $20 is
on a
twenty
store
bucks
that doesn't
cheaper.
exist.
That's $20 back in my pocket, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so you're gonna buy like the Wii version?
Maybe,
Just buy the Switch
maybe
version, dude. What the
I can.
hell?
I could just. I'm sure Curly's got a physical copy of it. I could just borrow it from him. Then it's free.
Curly doesn't
He has
have
a
a physical copy of the Switch version.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. He bought that digital.
Aren't you guys in the same family?
No, no, we are not in the same family,
In the same
Mister
Switch
Curly.
family?
We are not in the same Switch family, Derek Curly. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why aren't you? How many doesn't he?
Because Curly hates me. Because Curly hates me. That's why.
Okay. Um well, I mean it really, because then you could lend games to each other. Like I don't see why you wouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, things make sense and then they don't.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like enjoying the drama. Diego says, I saw a cursed post about someone pointing out the implications of one of the Lumas having a pacifier. Well, what are those implications? Aren't they babies? The Lumas?
I, what are the implications?
Yeah, I don't know. Because they're like star children. Like the whole thing.
Interesting.
Um anyway. Um anything else
Wait,
to
oh, there
talk
we go.
about?
The poster said something about the anatomy of Lumas and breastfeeding, and we're being
Oh.
oh yeah, that's the internet for you.
Yeah. Um
Well, okay.
yeah. Are we
Very
done with
hyped.
the movie?
I think. I mean, my hype levels is probably as high as it's been. I still wish maybe we weren't getting so much in one movie. This feels like, how we, you know, they played off of just the recognition of familiarity with the first movie. This seems like, hey, let's just double dip on that. Let's not worry about telling a story that actually means anything. And we're just gonna, hey, here's a bunch of things you remember from your childhood,
Yeah.
and make $800 million off of it.
Exactly. That's I
What
do worry that's gonna be a thing. Especially considering Galaxy having like all basically like the only meaningful story ever told in a Mario game. In a mainline Mario
interesting.
game anyway.
That's
Like
all
with
played.
Rosalina's storybook, like I think if they do first of all, if they don't do anything with the Rosalina storybook in the movie, then it's a fake Galaxy movie. If they do something with the storybook and don't do it justice, then it's also a fake Galaxy movie.
Fair enough. You heard it here first.
I could see the storybook thing being like flashbacks throughout the movie. We don't ever see Rosalina. Do we ever see Rosalina with the other characters in the
I
trailers?
don't think we have yet. No.
So I could see her story being like mostly a B plot throughout the movie.
You think this is like an Avengers Assemble kind of thing where we won't see them like actually unite until like the end of the movie, and then it'll be like Rosalina and Mario will return in Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh no, I don't
No.
think they would just introduce Rosalina and not do anything with her in the movie.
No. I'm not saying they would do anything with her in a movie, but I'm just saying like we're gonna get like an A plot with Mario and a B plot with Rosalina, similarly to how Mario and Luigi were split up for the first movie,
Yeah, but they at
and then
least
and then
set
their
them
paths
up
are
as
going to lead.
brothers. The difference
Yeah,
is that they set them up as brothers in the first movie. If they just like randomly introduce a character and not explain how they're related to anybody, and then they just don't have any connection at all throughout the story, like that would be wild. It would be an incredibly strange choice.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
Do you think we will see any reference to the whole Bowser Jr. or like yeah, the whole Peach being Bowser Jr.'s mom from Sunshine?
There's got to be some reference. They leaned too much into the Bowser's in love with Peach thing in
Mm,
the first movie for them not to pay that off in the second movie with Bowser Jr.
yeah.
Um,
I would really like if they do something with that, and if they also do within the movie reveal that she is not his mother, and then we will see all the fake fans cry about how they changed the canon.
if anybody on the internet cries about Peach not being Bowser Jr.'s mother, I'm going to lose any shred of faith I had left in humanity.
Well, I mean, you know how like most people think that that is true because nobody finished Sunshine.
Well, that's fair. That's a true. That's a fair point you
Because
make.
it's revealed at the end of the game that it's not true and nobody finished the game.
Yeah. Do you think so? Post credit scene for this one. Last one we got the Yoshi tease.
Mm.
What do you think the post credit scene for the Galaxy movie will be?
The Conky Dong movie.
You think so? Okay.
Mm. It's gonna be like you know how like in No Way Home they had the post credit scene of like seeing what Venom did the whole time. They're gonna do that
Yeah.
with Donkey Kong. It's like we're gonna see him like on a tropical beach drinking like some kind of banana drink, and it's like, oh
Of
man,
course.
what's all that happening out in the galaxies? I'm just gonna head back to my Donkey Kong country.
I love it. I love it. Cut and print.
Yeah, that's
I
gonna be the scene.
I was thinking. So they've basically covered so much of the Mario like timeline in these two movies with all the references. Do we get a Cappy reference for the third? Like, he won't be here, but like, do we get Cappy in the third Mario movie, and maybe we get a post credit scene with a
Mm,
little Cappy nod? You know?
no, I don't think they're gonna do. They've already done some Odyssey stuff in this, so I'm not so sure they're gonna do an Odyssey movie.
And no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. That'd be
I also do wonder if we're gonna get some spin-off movies for a while. Like they won't go into a third Mario movie right away, but they'll do the Donkey Kong Country movie. They'll do the Luigi's Mansion movie. Um, and then
yeah.
maybe they'll do the Super Princess Peach movie.
Yeah. I mean, it'd probably be way more successful than the game. Like,
Yeah.
if we're being completely honest, she's a way more popular movie character than she is a video game character.
Do you think the Super Princess Peach movie will also be centered around how women are emotional?
Not if they wanted to do well.
Do you think the Super Princess Peach movie will be all about how Peach's real superpowers are her emotions?
And I feel like they've swung pretty far away from that in the first movie. I feel like they I don't think that'll happen.
Do you
Thankfully.
think the Super Princess Peach movie? Do you think the MacGuffin in the Super Princess Peach movie will be an analog for a vibrator?
God, I hope not.
This is all true about Super Princess Peach, the DS game, by the way. I'm not just making shit up on the spot. Like this is all
Yeah.
true about the Super Princess Peach game on the. Oh, yep, Diego, it is 100% true. The entire thing, the thing that Princess Peach is after in Super Princess Peach on the DS is called the Vibe Scepter.
I hate
And
it. I hate it so
it's
much.
it's a scepter that makes you really happy.
I'm really, you know what I'm really happy about, that Mr. Curley did not join us for tonight's episode, because he would be making me feel real uncomfortable right now. Curly, I love you and I miss
Oh
you, but
man.
You
No,
enjoy your night off.
Diego, you did not take my thoughts. Everything I said about Super Princess Peach, the game on DS, is true to what the actual game is about. In the game,
Nintendo's coming really far.
yeah,
I'm proud of them.
in the game on the second screen, you have 4 buttons alongside a big picture of Princess Peach, and they're her 4 emotions, which is joy, sadness, um, anger, and one more that I don't remember right now. And they are all game mechanics. If you pick the anger one, you become so angry that Peach is set on fire. If you do the sadness one, she starts crying so much that she can make plants grow with her tears. Um, if you're really happy, you can float.
This is dumb.
It's so dumb.
It's so
And
dumb.
again, they're all after the vibe scepter.
Yep. I hate it. I hate it. Let's move on. It's time to talk about what we've been playing, Dennis. And Dennis, I know exactly what you've been playing. Um, well, actually, you know what? I take it back. I don't know exactly what you've been playing. Because you finished Requiem like 2 weeks ago, or like a day after it came out. Uh,
I did play it I did finish it in 2 sittings.
so with the the Resident Evil portion of your life apparently firmly in your rearview mirror, what have you been playing?
More Resident Evil.
Yeah, yeah, you have.
Nah, I did. I don't know. I may have bought these by the last episode, but I bought Resident Evil 2 and 3 on Steam.
Okay.
The main reason was because I heard about a mod that's coming for Resident Evil 3 remake, which is called Resident Evil 3: Resident Evil 3 Last Escape, which is named after the Japanese version of the original Resident Evil 3. But it's all about basically adding a bunch of the cut content back in, like a bunch of the stuff that was in the original Resident Evil 3 back into the game.
Okay.
And the person who's responsible for this mod made some clips showing like Jill walking around like the RPD or like other areas the around Raccoon City. Like something that I'm quite surprised about really is how if you played Resident Evil 3 remake, it feels really linear, but once you actually remove a lot of the actual physical barriers in the world, you realize that the game is actually very connected. And they just made it really linear for some reason. Like Raccoon City is actually like quite a large open space. Um and like if you add in some of the areas from Resident Evil 2 that are in Raccoon City, then you'll just see like, oh, this all actually fits together really neatly.
Hmm.
So kind of that's the plan. And I'm excited for that, though. I'm sure this is not going to be done anytime soon. But in the meantime, I've just been playing Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Um, and yeah, I did play through both. I did play through Resident Evil 2, both of Leon and Claire's playthroughs with only a minigun, which was really
Bravo.
fun. Oh yeah, I found another mod for Resident Evil 2 remake, which is quite interesting because I think one of the biggest criticisms of Resident Evil 2 remake is how you kind of just do the same thing as both Leon and Claire. Right?
Yeah.
Like their story there are like, and I mean it's so awkward like when they like when they meet up at the gate. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, like, oh, so sad that you can't come in here, Claire. Oh no, the zombies are coming. Run away. And then when you play as Claire, she runs away, finds the
Bolt cutters.
the bolt cutters, and then just goes in like 3 minutes after after meeting Leon, and then it's just
Yeah.
like, why are you not meeting up now? It's so weird. But anyway, there is a mod for Resident Evil 2 Remake, which basically tries to remedy this a little bit. Um, so I did play through the changed version of Leon's campaign, which wasn't that different. It basically just meant that you didn't do the first G boss fight. Um, and now I'm gonna play through Claire's second run, and looking at the list of all the changes that they've made, it seems to be quite extensive. So I'm excited to play through that and see how that feels. If it feels more like they just kind of uh, had no chance to run into each other, or if there's like enough different content like that doesn't feel like you're retreading the same thing or something like that. So I don't know. That's gonna be interesting to try.
Nice, nice. It's crazy that your Resident Evil wagon just continues to roll. Like, I'm curious how much of your year is going to be consumed by Resident Evil, let alone just Capcom games with Pragmata coming up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did play the demo for Pragmata. I don't know if I said that.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. How'd you like it?
It's cool. I like it. The gameplay is very unique.
Yeah, I don't know how much it's going to have to offer outside of just like a cool concept for combat,
Mm,
because I don't know much about the story yet, but like the main character doesn't strike me as somebody that's going to be all too interesting. But
mm.
I'd love to be proven wrong.
Yeah,
Capcom seems to
I
be
think
on
that's
quite a
like
roll
a
lately.
I think that's like a situation where, I mean, if the story is good, like it's a situation where you just kind of been thrown into the thing and you've not been introduced to the characters at all. You have no investment in
Yeah,
them. So like if the story is good, that is it's gonna be remedied in the whole game. But yeah, I don't know. I also
nice.
I don't know. I find that girl kind of weird.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, she has a. She's a robot, right? She's not
Yeah.
like a.
Well, like I think it's more like the I don't know, the way that they portray the girl kind of feels quite strange. Like I feel like it's definitely a strange like at the beginning of the demo. I think it's an incredibly strange choice, like how she's sitting on the ground with her feet like right towards the camera. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it feels like a little bit like,
Japan's weird, dude.
yeah, like a Japan is weird situation.
Yeah, Japan is
Um,
weird. Very weird. What's up? What's up with that Japan?
yeah. So yeah, but we'll see. I'm
Yep.
excited to play it. And that is also a game that's going to have full path tracing support, which is going to be
Okay.
really interesting in terms of this game because every fucking surface is this in this game is extremely reflective. Which is great for path tracing. Um so I think that's going to look really good as well.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm excited for it. I hopefully it's a day one game for me, but we'll have to see. You been playing anything else or?
Yeah, I did also play. I played some more Haste actually,
Nice. Okay.
and when I was making last week's short video, I decided to kind of make a short out of me talking about the game in our best of 2025 video. And while
Mhm.
I was making that video and looking for footage of Haste, I realized that they released a multiplayer mode. So
Oh wow.
I want us to do a family run and play some Haste together and just run together.
I can get behind that. I'm down for
Um,
that. I mean, it looks. I mean, the way I've watched that short a couple times, and I was there on the podcast. The game looks awesome. The way you describe it is like the way you want a Sonic game to feel. Like, I mean, you got me because I'm for one, I love playing through Sonic games, but I also hate playing through Sonic games at the same
mm.
time. So, uh, I'm definitely down for some to run that.
Yeah, it feels so good to play that game, and they've also kind of fixed some of my gripes with the game, because one of my biggest gripes with the game was um the game structure. Like, it is a roguelike, as I
Mhm.
mentioned, but the way it kind of worked is that you had this little section of level that they generated for you to run through, and then you kind of cut into like a map that is just kind of almost straight out of Slay the Spire.
Mhm.
And it just kind of breaks the flow. And something that they've done in like the main mode, you can now basically pick out your entire path from the beginning, so you don't cut, you just go uh
Oh, okay.
into the next run, which is really nice. And they've also introduced like an endless mode, which is really fun. Like, I jumped into the endless mode, and um like, in the main mode, like, you only play like maybe like 10 levels in a row, and you get all of these kind of upgrades throughout that kind of increase your speed or increase other stats and stuff like that. And in the endless mode, there is no end unless you die.
Oh
So that
wow.
means that I have been playing for, and you can you can basically keep your run going after quitting the game. So I am now hours into an endless run, and like, let me tell you like this. Let me tell you like this. The default, I would say, like, about the default run speed in the game is about 100 to 150 meters per second, which is very fast. I am now up at like a consistent level of 300 to 400 meters per second.
Wow. Okay.
It is crazy. It is completely wild. Like, you just like speed up, and you're so fast that you're basically like, in some jumps, you're basically flying like horizontally through the level. And you're just like in the air, like dodging trees and all this stuff. It is it's completely crazy, like how fast I'm going right now. Um, so yeah, it's so cool. It's so fun. Um, but yeah, then I did. I've also played. Yeah, after last week's video when we did the ranking Mario games, I just happened to run into um that there is a fan made remake of Super Mario Bros. Called Super Mario Bros. Remastered. And this is, I would say, kind of in a similar spirit to a lot of like the decompilation project that we've been talking about before. Um, and like like the Super Mario 64 decompilation, except here they're just kind of taking the assets from the original game and just rebuilding the whole game in Godot.
Okay.
And they have kind of replicated physics and replicated the graphics and all this stuff, but they also let you completely kind of change everything. So they have like remastered physics. They have a lot of different tweaks and stuff that you can add, such as adding flagpoles into, like adding checkpoint flags in the game. Like the game has like invisible checkpoints, but now you can get flags to kind of show that you've passed the checkpoint. But you can also enable flag plus, which means that they act similar to how they do in like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which is that if you're small and pass a checkpoint flag, you get a mushroom. You can also make it so that you don't, if you take damage as Fire Mario, you just become Big Mario instead of going all the way down to Small Mario, much
Okay.
like the newer games did. So there are a lot of those kind of tweaks, which I really appreciate. There's also the ability to have, or I think it actually does this by default. I actually haven't checked because I just kind of enabled everything immediately. But they also have like updated graphics in and like your biomes basically throughout the game. It's like when you get to World 2, it's like all desert theme, which adds a lot more kind of variety to the game, like visual variety. But like the
Mhm.
level designs are all the same, and but there is also a setting that allows for tweaked level design, and it says in the description that it applies mostly to lost levels.
Oh, currently where you at?
Almost like I was right about that. Um so yeah, I did try to find if there's any kind of extensive detail about what these level design changes are, but I haven't really found anything. So I'm thinking of asking in the Discord server to see if there is anything like this, or if they could produce something like this that they can detail what the changes are.
Okay.
Um but yeah, it's really cool. Uh I did finish it earlier today. So this is the first time I've actually played all the way through Super Mario Bros.
Would
Um
you would based off of this remaster, would you bump it up a tier on our fan tier list?
if we were ranking this remaster, I would bump it up, yeah.
Where would you put it?
I don't know, maybe somewhere in like C tier.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Um yeah, it just like a lot of my issues with the original game has to do with like the physics of the character and a lot of these kind of quality of life things that have been added over the years, um that just makes the game more friendly to play. Like I don't really think it changes the game. Like it doesn't change like the level design at any significant degree. It just makes it more friendly to play. Um and like you can also enable like infinite lives and stuff like that. Um but yeah, so it was just kind of way more enjoyable of an experience. Also, you can play it at like any frame rate, meaning you can play this at like 120 hertz,
Whoa.
which is wild. I mean, it's so smooth. Um, and I mean, yeah, it feels so good to play. Um,
Interesting. That's one of my that's my biggest problem with the OG. Like I played through that over the weekend on Switch. It just does not feel good. I hate the way it controls. I hate the momentum based movement. Cannot stand it, and that's part of the reason that I feel like the game is on the lower side of the tiers for
mm,
me. So I'm actually very interested to give this remaster, this fan made remaster a try. Sounds cool.
yeah, All you gotta do if you want to play this is, well, search for Super Mario Bros. Remastered on your search engine of choice. You'll find their GitHub page. Go to the releases tab and find the version for your platform. They have Windows and Linux. There are also unofficial repositories for Mac OS and Android. Um, but yeah, then you just download it and launch the program, and then you just browse to your Super Mario Bros. NES ROM, and then you're ready to
That you
go.
legally own. You
Yeah,
legally
your
own.
legally acquired Super Mario Bros. NES ROM.
Absolutely. We do not encourage piracy here on
Yeah.
Famipod.
Um,
We would never do that ever.
um, so yeah, I really recommend it. It's really cool, and I also recommend just going into the settings and just improving, just switching on every setting because that makes it feel like like a modern game.
Heck
Uh,
yeah, dude.
oh yeah, and they also have like different graphics resource packs, so you can make it look like Super Mario World if you want.
Oh, I'm absolutely sold. Okay. All right. That sounds like a dream. Give me ports of the All Star Collection where they all just look like Super Mario World. I'm down for that. But yeah, Dennis, you've been playing quite a lot of games the past couple weeks. I have not been quite as productive as you on the gaming front. Um, I have managed to, and from what we talked about before the podcast, I managed to make my way through what I would say is 75% of Resident Evil Requiem. Um, more to come on that before next week, where we will be doing possibly a spoiler review, possibly just a game review for Requiem. Um, I don't want to talk on it too much because I'd like to save my thoughts for uh, next week. But man, the game's unbelievable. It game of the year contender doesn't do it. Like just saying it's a game of the year contender doesn't do it justice. I think it's perfectly like figured out the RE formula. But I don't want to get too long into it than that. What I will get spend a little time on is so this the past maybe month or so. So for those who don't know, uh, I am getting married in a little less than a month at this point to Burb, who's very often in the chat with us, and every night we sit down and we play games with together, um, and we've been like going back and forth, showing each other our favorite games. And the past month or so, she has asked me to play through a game, one of her favorite indie games of all time, a game I never heard of called Amori. Uh, and Dennis, have you ever heard of Amori before?
I have heard about it. I think I've seen like a video essay about it like years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So I have in the last month or so been playing through that. I just finished it last night. For anybody that doesn't know Amori, it's like this. Think of like the way I have it encapsulated in my head is like it's Earthbound meets like Doki Doki Literature Club, but it also had I don't know that probably is not an apt way of describing it either, but like the gameplay is very Earthbound esque, and it's just super dark. Um, and twisted, but also beautiful. The music is done by Toby Fox, or at least partially done by Toby Fox. It is developed by a small indie studio called Omocat. Um, this game, I didn't know what I was getting into when I jumped into it. Uh, she could not stop raving about it. She just finished Expedition, and she was like, "Okay, you have to play Amori." Um, so I, it is possibly on my top 5 all-time indies after my playthrough. It is just such an absolutely beautiful game. I'm a Kingdom Hearts sicko, and this game is all about friendship and friends uniting and working together and just hanging out and like it takes you into this like this A plot, B plot that slowly merge together as you get through the game, of two perspectives of a character, Omori and Sunny, where you're in the real world as Sunny, learning about the things that have happened over the years with your friends, and then the rest of the game takes place in this like beautiful fantasy scape called Headspace, where you travel around with your group of friends, and just kind of like you're searching for your friend Basil. The combat's a really unique take on like the turn-based RPG genre, where it's all like based off of emotions. Like you can make your characters feel happy, sad, or angry, and then you can also inflict those same statuses on the enemies that you're fighting. And then like it's like a rock paper scissors kind of thing where um, angry attacks are good against opponents who are sad. Sad attacks are good against opponents who are happy, and happy attacks are good against opponents that are angry. Um, it just took me by surprise. It's such a simple looking game, but the art style grows on you in such a wonderfully charming way. The game just absolutely oozes charm, and the the soundtrack is unlike anything I've like it's just up there with the top echelon of indie music soundtracks, which is such a unbelievably vaunted list of music. Uh, I'm overjoyed. I'm sad that my time with it is sort of over for the time being. I can't wait to go back and do another run, but the game takes an unbelievable emotional toll out of you that I need to recover from. The story is beautiful, but just absolutely haunting at the exact same time. If Dennis, if I know you're not an indie guy, but or like no, not normally like that type of indie guy,
Mm.
and not but I would absolutely recommend you play through this game at some point. It's beautiful.
Based on what you were talking about, it sounds like this is a super Princess Peach like.
I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare say anything of this sort. No, it's definitely not.
What do you
It,
mean? Don't you think that the emotion system is a little Princess Peach like?
I don't. I don't at all. The
I'm
Diego
just
says the mechanics sound familiar. Is there a vibe scepter equivalent by chance? Oh, absolutely not. Oh, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're.
yeah,
Yeah. Um,
we're both just fucking with you.
but yeah, I mean that's all. I've been playing Requiem, and I've been playing that. My Omori's done. I'm gonna be full speed ahead on getting Requiem finished before the spoiler cast or game review next week, and that's about it for me.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, he was playing Mugenics. Nice, nice, nice. I want to dive into that, but it might be a little too far on the gross scale for me to really enjoy that one. But yeah, with I guess that'll get us up to our last portion of the show, which is going to be a one-on-one. Since Mr. Curley could not join us tonight, our traditional video game 20 questions. If you're new to the channel, new to the show, we do this at the end of every episode of Famipod. Usually it's a 2v1 where one of us comes up with a game and the other two try to crack it in with 19 questions and a guess. And we're keeping an overall like standings for like a season, and then eventually we'll crown a champion, and that champion will get the number one overall pick in our mid-year fantasy drafts for fantasy cricket, which I'm doing terribly in. Right now, the standings are Curly with one, Dennis with two, and myself with zero, which is unfortunate. I hope to get to right the ship today. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Dennis got us with Shanti and the Pirate's Curse.
Shantae and the Pirate.
Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Okay.
In the absolute best the best like twist possible, which is that I started the entire stream with music from Shantae and the Pirate's Curse.
But I mean, yeah, you definitely did. I feel like we've been slowly building to games outside of the traditional scope of what we had originally thought
Yeah.
this game was going to be, which is fine. I'm all for learning new games
I
and
did say that I only did this because of it, because I knew it was gonna be such a good twist, but I've also promised to never do something like that again.
but with that being said, let's get this going. I have my game. I am prepared. Mr. Dennis, you are let the questioning begin.
Remove that Shantae, which you did misspell, by the way.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Um. All right.
Make sure you got that chat covered.
So did this come out before January 1st, 2000?
You said before January 1st, 2000? No.
Yeah. No, not before. Um, this come out before January 1st, 2015.
No.
Okay, so after January 1st, 2000. Hmm. Is this playable on a modern platform? Or I would say, has this been ported or released on a modern platform, not including something like Switch Online?
What's your definition of modern? Contemporary
Yeah,
or
contemporary,
like
like actively maintained, like the current platform that they're doing.
so this current generation of consoles or just game consoles that are still supported?
Still supported.
Okay, then yes.
Okay, so it's probably on something like Switch One or PS4. Um,
Oh, I put yes for the question. Hold on.
was this released on the last generation of platforms, including PS4, Xbox One, Wii U, and Switch? I would say.
Yes.
Um, is this a first party game?
No.
Is it multi-platform?
Yes.
Um, is the game published by a major publisher, such as Ubisoft or EA?
No.
Is it an indie game?
Also, I will. I'm gonna throw out a caveat for your multi-platform question. It was multi-platform.
What
That might be too big of a hint, but it
the
was
fuck
multi-platform.
does that mean? How can you how can you previously be multi-platform?
That's all I'll say.
I mean, if you have released the game on multiple platforms, How can a game have been removed from multiple platforms? Also, I realized my chat's up.
What was your you had a question before I put the caveat. What was it?
No, wait. Like you have to clarify this. Like, what do you mean by it's like, okay, let's say the game was released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. How is the game unreleased from one of those platforms to then become exclusive?
If you that's your definition of multi-platform, like it's a multi-platform game. It was a multi-platform release.
Mm, okay. Uh is this an indie game?
Yes. Also,
Uh,
my apologies. When I picked this game, I thought Curly would be here.
okay, so you think this is a game out of my purview?
Possibly.
Shouldn't you pick another game then?
I don't. I don't think so.
Okay.
This game is definitely gettable for you.
Okay. Um so it was released on the last generation of consoles. Um After 2015. It's an indie game. Is this a platformer?
Yes.
Has this game been ever been nominated for Game of the Year at the Jeffs?
No. That's 10.
Celeste was nominated for Game of.
I believe so.
That's the one I was thinking of. Um, um, does this game include any form of roguelike elements?
No.
Is this a Metroidvania?
No.
Um, does the game focus heavily on its platforming as opposed to something like combat?
I It's probably a decent mix of both. I don't. That's kind of a subjective question.
Mm.
Um, but I would say it focuses equally. Maybe more so on the action. But okay, for all intents and purposes, I would say this is mostly defined as a platformer. But there's a bit of emphasis on action.
Would you say the game features resonant narrative elements?
Rephrase maybe?
As in the game, while I'm trying to frame it in a wider way, like basically does the game focus on story? But I'm not, I don't mean that in more like there are like cutscenes and narrative. Like what I'm trying to say by resonant narrative elements, like does it have like narrative features that work, that have been generally considered to be good?
Generally considered to be good.
Yeah, as in like it was the game, is the game known for that, for having like good narrative elements?
I find it hard to answer that question. I guess the game, like I'll frame it back towards the last question you asked. It focuses on action and platforming at an equal level. I'd say the story elements maybe a little bit to a lesser degree, but it does have a similar level of like narrative focus or narrative resonance, I guess. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, or I guess to some extent. Hmm. Is this game, does this game feature um is this like a 2.5D game, like with 3D
No.
graphics? Is this a pixel art game?
No.
Uh, so I guess it's like hand drawn thing. And I want to clarify, like on the 2.5D, I did also say 3D graphics. So like this
Then
game
yes.
does not feature 3D graphics.
You asked if the game was 2.5D
I
with
said
3D.
I said it's not 2.5D, as in it doesn't feature any 3D graphics. Which would
Okay.
also, like if it is a
I
3D
feel like
game.
that's two questions in one.
Okay, the question then is, does it feature any 3D graphics?
Yes. But you already got the answer to the first question. I'll allow it.
Okay, so this is probably it. Okay, so it is a
Yep.
3D game, which means that the pixel art question would be dumb. Um,
Three questions and a guess.
so this is a 3D platformer, an indie 3D platformer. Mm, I was definitely more into more on the 2D route. Um, um, I don't know. This game feature multiple, not necessarily multiple playable characters, but does it feature multiple lead characters, such as a
Yes.
duo of characters?
Yes. Features multiple lead characters.
Um, is this game made by former employees of Rare?
No.
It's not Ukulele.
One question and a guess.
Um, hmm. Was this game made by the developers of Sonic Mania?
No. You are down to your guess, sir.
Mm, uh, has Diego figured it out if he's still in chat?
No.
I have no fucking.
You want to wager a guess? Or should I reveal?
I don't even know if you know what this game is, but I'm gonna guess Paper Clay.
Ooh, Paper Clay is the chicken and the egg game, right?
Yeah, clearly not the one you were thinking of. So
Ah, man, I want to play that game so bad. Chicken Nugget. I followed that game for a while on the dev on the game for a while. I really want to play it. It is not Paper Clay, although that's a really good guess. Uh, all right, Dennis, I want you to ask me: are you going to be really mad when I reveal this game?
am I gonna be really mad when you reveal this game?
As long as I didn't give you any wrong information, absolutely, you're going to be furious.
Okay, reveal it slowly and see if I can figure it out.
Yeah. Um, developed on Unreal Engine 4. Uh, initial release came out on March 2017. Was scheduled for January, but was moved. Well, no, sorry, was scheduled for January 2017, but was released on the 19th of May. Developed for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows, has now been removed from all storefronts and can no longer be purchased, which is why
Is this
I
fucking Skylar and Plux?
this is Skylar and Plux, developed by Right Nice Games
Oh
and
my
Grip Digital.
god.
Dennis, tell us a little bit about Skylar and Plux.
I worked on this fucking game. Oh my god. Uh I did actually like the game actually I did think of it at one point during this. I just didn't think you would pick it.
I don't know if Curly would have been like. I feel like, I mean, having Curly to bounce things off of obviously would have helped here,
Mm.
but like uh I, I was worried about the multi-platform question because when I was researching the game, I was like, oh, you can only get it if you pirate it or off of GOG. Um, so technically, it's not multi-platform anymore.
Yeah, because it's non-platform.
Well, I mean, you can still play it. ah. Oh wait, he guessed. What did you Paperclay?
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm sorry, Dennis. I apologize for that.
All right.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Famipod. I'm gonna go apologize profusely to Dennis for doing that to him. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Burb. Thank you, Denton. Thank you, Curly. Thank you, Diego. We will be back next week with Resident Evil Requiem review of some magnitude. But until then, we hope you have a great night and a great week, and we'll see you next time. And now we're gonna awkwardly wave goodbye.